Hello, and boy do I have a build for you all today. I've been so excited to make this video. Like, it's been a long time coming. I can't even say how long now. It's been a few months. We have been working on this treehouse build on several streams, and we've all seen a lot of treehouses at some point in this game, but I promise you, not one like this. And the reason why is because typically whenever you scroll in the gallery and see treehouses, a lot of times they're just high up on foundations that are stilted or something along those lines, where it's not truly a tree house that is dependent on the structure being a tree. And in case you didn't know, on my channel page I have milestones. They look like this, and whenever I hit a subscriber milestone, we unlock something new. This tree house was just for 500 subs, and I do want to just say thank you all for subscribing to my channel. And we've currently been working on the 700 sub milestone on live streams for the townhomes and shops. So I already had in mind that I wanted to do a treehouse whenever I saw this, but the inspo for the type of treehouse was from this build by Ness4TW, and I came across this and thought it was super fun and whimsy, and I loved the crystals that were outside that caught my eye whenever I was scrolling through the gallery. I was like, what if I took this kind of vibe and incorporated it into a treehouse? So I built it on this lot at the very top of Hemford-on-Bagley. This is one of my favorite lots in the game. It's really pretty. The only caveat is that the camera is somewhat hard to use whenever you're trying to maneuver and build on the back left corner of it, but I thought this was a really great lot for a treehouse vibe. So let's go check it out. Welcome to Glimmergrove Canopy, a multi-level spellbound treehouse built into a thriving magical ecosystem. Designed for a family of 4, plus a few extra surprises, this one-of-a-kind lot brims with whimsy and imaginative living spaces. A gemstone pathway leads you to the heart of the home, where you're met with rustic charm. There is a dedicated spellcaster's room for potion brewing and spell crafting, featuring a fast exit slide pole for those sudden crystal surges. Home to exotic flora, including a cowplant and alien bloom hybrids, this magical greenhouse is part research station, part fairy tale garden. At the highest point of the treehouse sits the princess's chamber, complete with her own calling balcony for Prince Charming's and dragon-guarded drawbridge access. The crystals of convergence are the most notable features on the lot. On one side grows a large tree overtaken by crystals, charging magical power that helps protect the princess and powers crystals. On the other, a portal-linked tree stabilizes interdimensional travel. Together, they form the crystal circuit, balancing magic across the lot. So this is the lot, obviously. You can see that there is a lot going on here, and we have a lot to get through in this video. Just panning around, you can see there are a lot of nice details on our streams. Whenever we've built through this, we've come up with some really fun lore, and I tried to fill in the gaps with more of a storyline. So I'm going to take you through this build a little bit differently than I have in the past whenever I do these tour videos. The idea and concept of this was that I wanted it to be a deconstructed home. So like whenever you scroll through the gallery, oftentimes, like I was touching on, you see a lot of houses that are just full houses, but they're raised or they're up in the tree somewhat. But I wanted this to be a true treehouse vibe where different rooms are located around the lot. So you can see I have a lot of little separate buildings, and that's because each building is like a room in the house. So we have like the main house here, but then we might have a bedroom here. We have another bedroom here. We have some type of skill building room over here, you know? So I wanted it to be more fun, that you have to actually walk around the treehouse in order to get to anywhere that you're trying to go. And then also one thing that I did want to say is that I was really loving my purples and greens in this build. It was funny because in the chat, we were discussing how some of the rooms are even giving Wicked vibes, but that's why I'm wearing my purple shirt and my little fun hat. So this was built for a family of 4. I was thinking of a mom and dad, a teenage daughter, and a little girl. And I definitely want to address the elephant in the room with what's going on with these trees and the crystals. So I'm going to hit that first, and I can't hit that without talking about the mom. So we're actually going to first go over into this room on the side. Now, this is the spellcaster room. We had a lot of fun doing this on stream, and I'll show y'all everything and what it looks like in live mode. But this is the room at a glance, and you can see we have a lot of fun vibes in here, and the tree actually is growing into the house and into the room. So I do this in a few different rooms around the lot just to make it feel more like a tree house. So obviously, if it's a tree house, you have trees growing up through it because you build your house around it. We have the little brooms over here on this side, some books, and this is where she does her potion making. So I'm approaching this as like a storytelling type of build tour. We're going to first introduce the mom. So I'm thinking of this as being the Solmare family. So Lunaria is the mother, and she's a spellcaster. I'm saying she served on this high council of Moonwood magic, just because it sounds really cool. After she discovered the crystals of convergence, which are these 2 trees we have on the lot, and they have this cosmic power, she chose to leave the arcane bureaucracy to protect and study them. And one thing that's really fun is off of her room over here, there's this pole that goes down, and you might be wondering, like, why? What is that? So I used the treehouse that's already built, and it has this, and if you size down the treehouse, the pole stays the same size. And the reason for this is that she needs an escape route just in case there are crystal storms. So if there are wild surges of just this raw magical energy and it flares, she needs to be able to get down to the crystal and ensure that the charge remains balanced between both trees. So that way she can just come in right over here and do what she needs to do. And so just so y'all can see it in live mode, I just think things look so much cooler in live mode. I put these fireflies in here too. I just thought that was a nice little touch to have inside. And we have the potions all around. And then over here off to the side, remember there's a big tree right here, but we do have the princess's broom. So remember, it's a family of 4. I have 3 right here, and then this one's tucked away. And there's a reason for that we'll get into in just a little bit. But I thought this would be really pretty to have a balcony space over here off of this. Just nice to sit down, relax a little bit, have all the leaves and vines growing down around it. So in addition to her spellcaster room, she does spend a lot of time in the greenhouse brewing. And she has her cowplant in here, some of the alien blooms, and a cauldron as well. And I think this is a really cute space. I cluttered it up a lot, obviously, with plants, but I have some fireflies in here as well. And that's just because the windows are broken around the greenhouse, so I like the idea of them coming inside at nighttime. And so this is where she works. Over here is her little workstation area. As you come outside, there's a balcony here as well. I did a lot with the wisteria and the vines all over the place on this build. I thought it was a lot of fun to do something like that. And then we have a little area over here off to the side that's a little hidden with a chest and some pots and such over there. And we'll get to where that ladder goes as well. So just hang with me for the storyline. So this idea with the 2 trees is that essentially they're both conduits. So this one is a battery and then this one is a key. So together they maintain this crystal circuit that I'm calling, and it keeps the magical portal over under this one stable. And then this is the magic portal under that tree. And so you can see really fun purpley vibes. I used this backlit mirror and just overlaid them, made them purple, and then we have the glowing purple tiles. So those are from Spa Day. So that's the vibes down there. And so this is what it looks like from the top of it. I just used those crystal clear tiles, used them in a way that had a cool design, and just put a little fence around it. So they have to be balanced constantly, and if an imbalance occurs, that's when you get the crystal surge, and then that's whenever it can open to unstable realms or potentially allow something in that we don't want. And that gets us to the father, Orion. So he was once a scholar of ancient magics, and that was until the forest chose him. So I pictured him as a werewolf more so. He likes to protect his family. And when the crystals of convergence were discovered, they called out to him. He understands that the crystal growth is spreading across the lot and suspects that the crystals are sentient. So he's more the person who's studying what these are doing, and that's why they moved out to the forest and built this treehouse. And he's trying to figure out what these actually do and what they're used for. The idea of it growing on the lot, obviously other than just seeing the crystals everywhere, is that you can see that they're turning right here. So we have the regular mushrooms here, and then they're like turning more alien over here next to the crystals where they're near the crystals. So that's a little detail that I like to put in there that I don't think people would really pick up on just looking at it. So Lunaria and Orion's bedroom is over here on this part of the lot, and it's right above the spellcaster room that's down here. And so as we come in here, you can see it's a lot of warm tones. I want it to be warm and just inviting more so. And it just gives spellcaster energy, I thought, too. There are a lot of little things all over the place. We have tarot cards. We even have tarot card pictures in here. We have the cowplant for Lunaria. And remember, Orion was a scholar of the ancient magic, so we have a lot of books in here. We have the little book clutter down there, too. And I just think this is a unique little bedroom because it's a weird shape, but I think it works really well. I think we pulled it off on how to clutter it best. We have our little TV over here, some makeup. We have the mirror to get ready, dresser over here. We have the cowplant plant here, too. So cowplants all over the place, obviously, for Lunaria. But a nice little nod, too, is that This was them way back. We came up with a story on stream that they left this palace and that life behind them. That was not the life they wanted. That was not the life they wanted for their future children. So you can see that the palace is up in flames a little bit. So arsonists, they just didn't want their children to have that lifestyle, you know? So another favorite spot of Orion's is this observatory. So we have a couple of telescopes, and then you can play chess here as well. But he likes to come up here, lay down, look at the stars. We do have a little area over here. This little nook is meant for stargazing. So you can just look up and see the stars. We'll get to this soon. I would love to have a little dedicated stargazing area to just lay down, relax, and look up. But obviously with him being a werewolf, he, you know, likes to look at the moon. Then we get to Lyra. Lyra is a bit conflicted. She's the teenage daughter, and she's caught between two legacies, her mother's spellcraft and her father's wild blood. Now, she channels her conflicting magic through her passions with music and art. Before we go further on Lyra, this is her bedroom. So once you come off the entrance over here, her bedroom is first in this room over here. So again, purple and green, right? Seeing lots of purple and green. This is her bedroom though. Very colorful, very fun and vibrant, I think. You can see Herbert is over here sad. It's all sad. She's conflicted. Herbert doesn't like seeing her conflicted. But y'all know I like to put hangout spaces in the bedrooms of my teens. And so this is her little hangout space. She has friends over. This is where she gets ready. We have the Love Struck trunk. I love using that, especially when you need, you know, something in a small, tight space. And then I love these branch lights that we got. They're so fun. And then just a top-down view, you can see her room. I said she likes music and art. This is a little music studio that we have. This is the first room at the bottom of the tower. You can see over here, there's like tree clipping in a little bit right there. I thought that was cool as like a little backdrop for a stage area here or something. That's why I put the mics there. But just some records. We have the piano. We have the saxophone over here, big speaker. I did put the Love Struck trunk here too, just imagining like they're getting ready or something for a show or just doing some costumes, some cosplay a little bit. But I put this mirror behind the ladder. This is still functional too, by the way. But just a nice little area with tons of instruments. We have the guitars, we have the violin, and then above that actually is the art studio. So we have our little art studio in this area, really cluttered up, fun, messy swatches everywhere. Y'all know how much I love those swatches. And then one thing that I tried to do was based on the windows. So we have a lot of these stained glass windows from Realm of Magic, and I tried using different swatches. So I tried to bring the colors of the windows and let that set the tone for the rooms that they are. So you can see that I'm pulling colors from the windows. So like for this one, it's a lot of the green. We have this orangey color. I went more with like the yellow vibe. We have some orangey tones in here too though. And so this is just a fun, cute space, I think. And then I just love the greenery growing up on the side of it. I just think that's really pretty. So the crystals also kind of go with the windows here. So I put a lot of the orange crystals that we get, the orange swatch of those. I brought in the yellows and lots of green on this balcony space. Could you imagine like having a window and having the bird feeder there just to watch the birds? I think that would be pretty. And so Lyra also likes escaping over to the hanging library that we have. And this is where her mom and her little sister spend some time together. There's a secret rooftop area for them to hang out. They read, they journal, they write spells and hidden tomes. And she doesn't want anyone to know it, but she's trying to secretly communicate with the mushrooms because she's convinced that they're trying to tell her something. So let's go check this out. Now the idea of it being hanging is because you can see there's no support here. What I did was I used the tool mod and also just alt placed these vines around it. So you can see that the vines are like holding it up in place. And I also put these from Island Living and pretended like they were rings on top of it that are attached to the room and ran the vines underneath them like it's hanging up through that as well. So there are a lot of different ways that this is supported, and it's just a lot of vines all over the place on this. So as you come into the library space, we have this really, really nice big black fireplace, and I think it looks great with this wallpaper from Love Struck that we get. But again, purples and greens all over the place, but that was the idea. And I did a lot of cool custom things with the bookcases in here and raising them and putting them in a particular type. This is actually from Life and Death. It's the books that we get. And I just liked this gold edge sticking out. I thought that was really pretty looking. So I just stuck those in on top of these cozy kitsch cabinets. But it is an awkward shape. So thinking about how a library would work in a very rounded room, I wanted to put this wall here so we could have some type of internal wall to put these bookcases along. that would work really well. And as you come around here, there's actually this little alcove area you can sit on, you can read, and you have these crystals. Some of them are glowing, and just tons of books. We have the tomes up here, and it's open to the outside. So it's just such a vibe. Could you imagine just getting to sit in right here and reading and looking outside at that? I think it would be such a vibe. Like, look at that. It would be so nice to be able to do something like that. And then on this side, we have more crystals. We have more book clutter, bookcases. And then we have our little secret door here that takes us up to the rooftop. Keeping in mind, this is where they like to write, journal, read, write up spells. I put another chess table up here, a little hangout space, and then I'll switch to live mode so you can see it a little bit better. And so this is what it looks like at nighttime, like it is right now. It is completely covered. When you zoom out, you can see the trees overcast from it. This is the vibe up here, and there's a little table for a little sister. This is where mom is. So nice area to sit down, relax. The crystals are starting to come up here. They're spreading. And I also put the castle dollhouse over here as well. I thought that was a cute little vibe for the little princess to play while they're up here. I had a lot of fun cluttering up the desk spaces and such, though. It was a lot of fun. And we have these fun little lights too. So lots of hanging lights all over the place in this build. And now we get to Princess Etheria. Now, she's the youngest, and she was born under this rare celestial alignment, so she is crystal blessed. So she has the ability to activate or suppress magic in nearby crystals. She is in the highest room and the tallest tower. Oddly enough, believe it or not, this is a 5th floor. I broke the game to get a 5th floor, and I did it on a live stream, so there is proof of it happening. Why can't it go this way? Can't place... I'm not placing anything above the 4th floor. I'm extending a wall. Okay. Wait. Oh my gosh, I broke the game. And I did it anyway. And it is functional and everything. So I think that makes it even more magical. But she's in here because the crystals protect her. So that's why we have the crystals all over the tower, as well as on the tree underneath it. And it serves as like a barrier or a shield. There are a lot of people who would like to have the power that she bears. And before we go inside, I did want to give the nod over to how she has the balcony here. And then just thinking in terms of like Rapunzel, I put a little balcony here for Prince Charming's to come up trying to get to her. And I just thought that was a cute nod. Not necessarily that it goes with the story, but it was just a cute little Easter egg to put in. So that's why we have this little balcony. And then you can see at night, I have this fun little line of the bug lights that go all the way up to her door. And now maybe this makes a little more sense because I was thinking of the dragon protecting the princess. So that's why this is here. So I just thought it was a fun vibe to size up this toy and just pretend like it's a dragon that's waiting for someone to come and rescue her or take her. So let's get into her bedroom. So this is what it looks like. Lots of pink and purple. Just thinking about the colors of the windows here. I did some fun stuff with the toys here as well. So we have the castle dollhouse, and then I was pretending this was the princess, and then this is the dragon here as well, protecting her. We have a little craft table over here, a little tea time area. So she has her friends here that she can have tea with. And just a fun little vibe. She has a violin in here too. Toy chest, books. This is just floating because of the greenery I wanted on the roof. But yeah, I think this room turned out really cute. I love this little giraffe too. And then we also have these like cloud lights that I think is really funny because we're up high in the sky. So I wanted to put those in too. And then you can see that we have what looks like a hanging gel, and you would be correct that that is what this is. And there's a doll head on the ground. So I'm calling this Gigglebit. So Gigglebit is a corrupted toy that came to life and tried to harm the princess. So this is, needless to say, a failed experiment that happened, and Gigglebit was jealous of Etheria's powers and tried to steal them. He is imprisoned right now. He gets some chicken feed, and then we gave him a doll to play with, and he ripped off the head. So, you know, he's in there. And remember, we talked about the crystals leading to another dimension, and we don't know if something's trying to get to our side. Gigglebit, do you have secrets? Okay, so now that I've kind of gone through the storyline with you a little bit and shown you some of the rooms, let's just go through now, and I'll show you everything. I did want to highlight this stone path. Now, we get this clear tile from Island Living, and I realized in one of my streams that if you place it on the ground, it kind of serves like a platform where it goes into the ground. And I was like, How cool would it be if I sunk gemstones into the ground and made my own pathway that way? So I did each of these rocks manually. I organized them, I lowered them, and this was before I knew you could hold down Alt and lower with the tool mod with multiple items. I lowered each of these stones one at a time. So this, I don't even want to say how many hours I spent on this pathway, but it wraps around all the way over here to what would be your main entrance over here by the door. And we have a cute little foraging table over here with lots of clutter. I just think that's such a vibe. And you can just see like what it looks like at night. I think this is so pretty at nighttime. All the fireflies and everything going all over the place. Now, once you come into this main house area, so this is like where the actual living space is, we have a cute little combined kitchen, dining, and living space. So again, purple and green is everywhere. So we have this like cute cottage core vibe, little kitchen. We have this pinkish fridge with the green appliances, green upper cabinets. And then we have like the nice little purple area over here with the dining chairs. We have some nice clutter and shelves. I put these shelves around the fireplace pipe that we get that goes into the wall here. We have a nice little living space over here. And I thought it was cute. I put this wall here just to make it easier to use the ladder and have a more defined space to go upstairs and separate the space a little bit more. And so once we go upstairs, we have this cool crystal plant terrarium space, just a little in here. And then we have the landing, and then over off of that landing, we have our office space. Now this has a record player, bookcase, really nice little area, I think, to work. And one thing you can't see just yet is there's actually a tree that goes through this window. So you can see it here. This is what it actually looks like, which I think is really cool to see it and how it's growing into the house. So again, I tried to like have some areas where the trees were growing into the build a good bit just to make it more realistic and what it would look like. And then off of that, we actually have a fully functional full bathroom. It's just a really, really weird, awkward shape. And then when you come back out here and go upstairs, we have our little attic space that has trinkets in it, some cobwebs. I just think it's a fun vibe. So this is what that main building looks like from the outside. You can see it's a lot of the fun windows. We have wisteria all over it. Some nice fun whimsy vibes. I love the plant growth all over everything. I think it's just really pretty, makes it come to life. Now, when you come over here, this is Lyra's bedroom. So we already looked at Lyra's bedroom. And once you wrap around, we have this staircase that comes up to this landing. Now, this landing serves as like the heart of the treehouse in a lot of ways because we have so many staircases that come off of it. Now, if you come over here where the crystals are growing up off that tree, that's our spellcaster room that I showed y'all earlier at the start. Once you go up again to the next level, we have right here sandwiched between that and the upper floor is a fun little bonfire hangout space. So we have area over here, you could roast marshmallows, whatever. We have a s'more station over here with some snacks, and we have a grill. We have our like cookware and whatnot over in that area. And then we have a place for the kids to play, or I guess our princess to play. And then above that is the primary bedroom. And that's what I already showed y'all earlier too. Now, I do have these gnomes everywhere all over the lot, so if you want to count and see how many gnomes I have on this lot, go for it. I don't even know if I could find them all and ensure that I found them all, but we have all sorts of gnomes on this build. You come around over here, and then this is the front of the primary bedroom, and you can see that we actually have a staircase and a ladder. So off of the staircase from the primary bedroom, there's this little coffee hub that you could call it. You sit down, have a cup of coffee, just relax, very peaceful vibes. You can look out, enjoy the view of the crystals right in front of you and look out. And then we also have the ladder going up, which goes to the home theater space that we have. Lots of fun little pillows. We have the quilt. We have snacks over here. Like, just imagine how cool that would be. Like, just to have the trees over you like that. And that's why I got canopy in the title of this lot. So it just makes me think of a canopy, you know? We have board games, the fun lights everywhere. It's just such a vibe. And then as you go across this bridge, you can see we have these two hanging whatever you might think these are. Now, the idea of this was for these to be hanging lanterns, and so they're crystal and plant terrariums that are open to the outside. I wanted them to serve as like the primary light source, you know, just kind of pretending that it would light up the entire complex because they're at the center of the complex. So I wanted these to look like they're hanging. So we have the vines here that are up in the trees to make it look like they're hanging from the vines. And I also did that with Gigglebit's little cage too. You can see it's off of a vine. So I tried to make it look like it's hanging. And then it might be hard to see, but I do have fireflies in these as well. that are popping up. I just think that's really pretty. And then as you cross this fake bridge that you can't actually use, we do have the observatory over here, which I already showed y'all. And then we of course have our dragon protecting the princess. And then off of that is the princess's bedroom, and we've already been there as well. Now she does have a nice little balcony space with some hot chocolate, which is really cute, I think. Now if you go down this ladder, this is how you actually get up to this whole part of the build. It goes by the greenhouse space. So this is where you can actually get up to access it. It is covered, but it is functional. You just have to go through the greenhouse space. So hopefully you don't get eaten by the cowplant by the door. And then off of the greenhouse space, we do have this fun landing. It's a little bit more of a formal seating area outside. And it's just where you can read books, you can have tea, just relax, enjoy this view right here. And it's just really cool to think about, like, if you were sitting here and looking at your surroundings, like look how it's all covered and you just have the crystals hanging everywhere. And that gets me to the hanging crystals too. I didn't really touch on that, but these are just hanging off of vines. So I took this vine and I alt placed it and raised it up, and then I put the crystals here and used the tool mod a little bit and raised them up to look like they're hanging off of it, kind of like a light bulb on a wire, you know. So that was the vibe I was going for. So we have those as like little lights outside as well to light up the whole complex. Now if you go back this way towards the landing that you would go down here, we do have a staircase right here and a ladder that goes down. So over here we have our crystal charging space right here outside on this balcony patio space. Now if you go down this ladder, this takes you into the crystal creations room. Now my idea with this is that we forage and harvest the crystals that are growing and we use them to create jewelry. So I like the idea of doing some crafted jewelry with the crystals that are here, and it's possible that you get those powers from it, right? So that was a fun nod to incorporate with the Crystal Creations pack. But lots of clutter everywhere in this, lots of plants as well. I just think it's a fun vibe. Again, purple and green all over the place. So this is that landing I was telling you about. So it wraps around to get to the entrance to the Crystal Creations. You could go that way, or you can come down this staircase here. And then this gets you to like a fun little water feature area that is super pretty in my opinion. So you have this little walkway here, and the idea is that this is more of a hot springs, and then this is just more of like a fun little pond area. And I'll put it in live mode. You can see the dragonflies, the fireflies, the swans, the ducks. You should see bubbles here soon. I do have like an effect here in the hot springs to make it look like they're actually hot. And it's just from the unidentified submerged object. So it's kind of a cute way to use it that way. I put these anti-lift balloons out here. It just added a touch of whimsy and magic to me, like it was something growing from the tree, because we have these crystals and we have these mushrooms everywhere. And then this is what's supporting the structure here. So again, just trying to keep true to that integrity of the build as much as I can. And then off of this area over here, we do have this little landing that's underneath the tree. Now this technically is not functional. I think you could maybe teleport your sim into this area, but they can't go down the stairs up to underneath the tree. But we have all of this lavender everywhere, and it's just like a seating area. And we do have the staircase on this side, but what happened was that the crystals grew so much and they overgrown. So now you can't even use this staircase. It's just blocked off now. And I put a sized up crystal grid underneath this one, just keeping to mind the like battery aspect, like it's charging. So I have this lit crystal here, like it's charging this up, and that's the idea with that. But we definitely had to have a crystal tree in this build somewhere, so I put it right here. I thought this was like the best place for it, where it didn't stick out. Now from here, going back over to the spellcaster room, you can see that we have the staircase right here. We went up the ladder and showed you the floors there, but then this gets us to where the floating library is. And then one thing that I hadn't shown y'all yet was that there is a full bathroom here too. So we do have more than just the little full bathroom that's in the main building at the front of the lot. We have this one as well. We have the toilet over here, shower, nice little vanity space. I like the mismatched mirrors. I think that's fun. These are two really whimsy looking mirrors. And then we have some fun clutter over here up against this wall. And then that gets us back over to the library area. And then y'all know how I like to hide things in my builds. This is what you're looking for, Mr. Floppy the Gnome. So he is somewhere on this lot. If you can find him, good luck. This is a very busy and detailed build. So if you find him, congrats. So yeah, y'all, this is bittersweet to say it's the end, but that's it on this build. I think this is one of my proudest builds that I've done to date. I poured my heart into this build so much. So I'm putting this on the gallery as Glimmergrove Canopy. I would love to know if you all play in it. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it uses every single DLC. Like, oh my gosh, I used a lot. I used a lot. It's almost 500,000 simoleons, so it's a pretty big build. So that's it with this build. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was so much fun to work on it on live streams with you guys. And again, just thank y'all for subscribing. I appreciate it. This was a sub-milestone build, and I'm really happy that we have checked another one off because we still have 2 more to get through. So if you're not subbed, I'd love to have you join in and you can see the next one that we do. And lastly, I just ask if you want to support me that you can click on the join button down below, or you can click on the link in the description box and become a Soul supporter. That helps me as a content creator and you get a few perks. And if you ever want to check out the VODs, I'll put the playlist to them here. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Y'all, I'm still in disbelief that this build is finished. I actually don't want it to be. This has been so much fun.